Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're going to tell you a story, a really unsettling one. It goes way beyond just, the usual hassles of moving house. Imagine finding a new apartment somewhere you hope is going to be your safe space, right?
Yeah.
Only for it to feel like it's actively working against you, pulling you into these weird, unexplained, frankly, terrifying events.
Yeah.
And the real question this story throws up is, well, what happens when your own home seems to have this negative presence messing with everything?
It's a chilling thought.
It really is. So this account, it comes directly from a woman named Kun Pim. It's her detailed first-person story about her time in a condo in Bangkok, the town area.
Right.
And this isn't just like one strange thing happened. It's a series of events that just kept getting worse, making her question, her own reality.
Absolutely. And our job today, really, is to carefully unpack Kun Pim's story. We'll look at how these strange things unfolded from just feeling a bit off right up to some truly scary moments.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the revelations that came later. It's a pretty unique look at how deeply connected our surroundings can be to our mental state, our well-being. It kind of challenges that idea of home being a sanctuary.
Okay, so let's dive in. Where does Kun Pim's story begin?
It starts back in 2019. Kun Pim's looking for condo, needs something near her work.
Pretty standard stuff.
Exactly. She finds this place in town area, picks unit 535 on the 5th floor. Looked good, nice view apparently, so she moved in.
But she wasn't actually in unit 535 for very long, was she?
No, surprisingly not.
Why the quick move? Was it something strange already?
Well, not initially, no. The reason was actually quite mundane. The unit was just incredibly hot and stuffy.
Oh, right. Like bad ventilation or something.
Sort of, yeah. The way it faced meant the sun just baked it all day. Even with the air conditioning on full, it was apparently almost unbearable. She said later she just completely missed that when she first viewed it, focused on the nice room and the view.
Happens easily enough, so what did she do?
She went to the condo management, explained the situation, asked if she could possibly switch units.
And they agreed?
They did, yeah, though she had to pay a bit extra, like a transfer fee or something.
Right.
But she was desperate to get out of the heat, so she paid it and moved upstairs to unit 733 on the 7th floor.
Okay, problem solved, you'd think. A cooler room, higher up.
You would think. But moving into 733, well, that's when things really shifted. It wasn't about the heat anymore.
How so?
The change was immediate. Like the very first night she stayed in unit 733, she suddenly started feeling physically unwell.
Unwell how?
Headaches, dizziness, just a general feeling of being really off. She said it wasn't just tiredness from moving, it felt wrong, like a heavy feeling she couldn't shake.
Okay, that's just on the first night.
Yeah. And then this feeling kind of spilled over into the next day. She was driving out to do something, feeling blurry, not rested at all. And she had a minor accident, grazed a motorcycle. Now, she said she was really shocked by this because she'd never had an accident before, ever.
Wow. So did she connect it to the room straight away?
Not really, no. At the time, she just put it down to being tired, maybe stress from the move, just a random unfortunate thing, a fluke.
Right, you try to rationalize it.
Exactly. But looking back, it seems like it was maybe the first real sign that something wasn't right with Unit 733. Something more sinister was starting.
And that feeling of unease, it didn't go away.
No, it actually got worse. Kun Pim started to feel like she was being watched. Constantly.
Watched? By who?
Well, that's the thing. Even when she was completely alone in the room, she described it as this unseen presence just staring at her intently. You know that prickling feeling on your neck?
Yeah, horrible.
Imagine that all the time in your own apartment. It left her feeling really unsettled.
And it wasn't just feelings, right? It started affecting her life in other ways, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Her personal life took a nosedive. She and her boyfriend started arguing constantly, like really intense verbal fights.
Was that normal for them?
Not at all. She said it was highly unusual. They'd have small disagreements like any couple, but this was different. It was escalating day after day, way beyond anything they'd experienced before. It felt, she said, like something was actively trying to drive them apart.
Wow. So this unseen presence, the arguments, and then there was something else, wasn't there? Something sensory.
Yes. This is maybe one of the strangest parts. A smell. After about 2 weeks in Unit 733, her pillows started to develop this awful odor.
What kind of smell?
Strong, musty, almost rotten. It got so bad she couldn't sleep on it.
Ugh. did you figure out what it was?
Well, she tried. Her first thought was, maybe it was her own saliva, or maybe she hadn't washed her hair properly, so she did the logical thing, stripped the bed, washed everything. Pillowcases, sheets, everything.
Okay, makes sense.
Did that fix it?
That's where it gets really disturbing. No,
Yeah.
despite washing everything thoroughly, the smell came back really quickly.
The exact same smell. Yes. And it wasn't just the pillow this time. It permeated the entire bed. That same putrid, rotten odor. Sleeping became impossible again. It was just this constant, oppressive smell she couldn't get away from.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Just stuck with this horrible smell, can't sleep.
Exactly. And that brings us to the night when things escalated dramatically. She was lying in bed, couldn't sleep because of the smell, just playing on her phone to try and distract herself.
Okay.
She needed to use the bathroom, so she got up, left the bathroom door open a crack, and as she sat down, she caught something out of the corner of her eye.
What was it?
A shadow, like the shadow of a person quickly moving past inside her bedroom.
Whoa. What did she do?
Her first thought was maybe it was her boyfriend, maybe he'd come home without her hearing him, but then she realized, no, he wasn't back yet. The apartment was supposed to be empty.
Oh, man. Okay, that's terrifying on its own.
Right, but it didn't stop there. After that glimpse, feeling really freaked out, she tried to find some comfort. She actually got a Buddhist chanting book, put it under her pillow, and prayed, hoping for some peace. Eventually, somehow, she drifted off to sleep.
Thank goodness for that, at least.
Well, the relief didn't last long.
So?
Sometime later, she was woken up by sounds, distinct sounds. She heard the apartment door open, someone walk in, close the door.
Okay.
Then she heard them go into the bathroom. And then she heard the shower turn on.
The shower. In the middle of the night.
Yeah. A few minutes later, the shower stops. And then she felt the bed dip beside her.
No.
Yes. The distinct feeling of someone getting into bed and lying down right next to her.
Oh my God, what was going through her head?
She was still half asleep, groggy, and her immediate thought again was, oh, it must be my boyfriend, he's finally home.
Okay, trying to normalize it.
Exactly.
Right.
But even in that sleepy state, something felt wrong. The body next to her felt cold. Unusually cold. And here it was lying really close to her, which was strange given they'd been arguing so much.
Cold.
Yeah. She sort of rationalized it for a second, thinking, oh, he just showered, that's why he's cold, trying to make it make sense. And then, maybe less than 5 minutes after feeling this cold presence settle beside her, her phone rang. Loudly, right next to the bed.
Okay. Who was it?
She groggily reached over, looked at the screen. It was her boyfriend calling.
Calling? But he was supposed to be in the bed next to her.
Exactly. He wasn't calling from inside the apartment. He was calling from outside. His voice on the phone was angry, asking why she hadn't opened the door for him. He said he'd been knocking and knocking for ages.
Oh my God. The blood must have run cold if he was outside.
Then who or what was lying in the bed right next to her?
That is pure terror. What did she do?
She felt this wave of absolute horror. That cold sensation was still there on her back. Panic just took over. She literally bolted upright, scrambled out of bed, ran to the door, flung it open, and found her actual boyfriend standing there, confused and annoyed.
I can't even imagine. What did the boyfriend say? Did he believe her?
Well, initially he was mostly just angry about being locked out, and probably thought she was overreacting or dreaming. She was hysterical, obviously, trying to explain what just happened.
Yeah, I bet.
But eventually, seeing how terrified she was, he went into the room with her. They looked around.
Was anyone there?
No, the room was empty, nobody hiding anywhere. But they did find something.
What?
Wet footprints on the floor, leading from the bathroom, across the room, right to the side of the bed where she'd felt the presence.
No way. Actual wet footprints.
Actual wet footprints, like someone had just showered, walked over, and gotten into bed. It was undeniable proof that someone had been there just moments before.
That changes everything. That's physical evidence.
Exactly. It completely validated her experience, even to her skeptical boyfriend.
So after a night like that,
Yeah.
what happened the next day? Did they just pack up and leave?
Not immediately. Kunpim was, as you can imagine, completely drained, just exhausted, no motivation. She felt this deep need for some kind of spiritual help, some protection.
So she prayed again.
Yes. She lit incense in the room, on her bed actually, and prayed to Ganesh and Uma Hindu deities known for removing obstacles and offering protection. She was just begging for safety, for this to stop.
And did anything happen while she was praying?
That's when the second and even clearer encounter happened. While she was praying, she again caught that movement, that shadow, in her peripheral vision.
Oh no, not again.
But this time she looked up directly, and she saw it clearly. A figure,
What did it look like?
She described a female figure standing sideways at first, then slowly turning to look right at her. White skin, short hair, but the face was pale, sickly looking, almost bruised like a corpse. Yet strangely, she also said the features underneath were beautiful, and it was wearing a cream-colored night dress.
A full-on apparition staring at her.
Yes. Not just a shadow this time. They were locked in this terrifying stare down for maybe 3 seconds. Felt like an eternity, I'm sure.
I can't even... And then what?
And then the figure started moving towards her.
Oh, absolutely not.
That was it for Kumpim. The second it moved towards her, she didn't hesitate. Grabbed her phone, grabbed her wallet, and just ran. Fled the condo in total panic. Didn't even stop when she apparently bumped into a cleaning lady in the hallway. Just bolted out of the building.
I don't blame her one bit. So where did she go? What could she even do?
She knew she needed serious help. She thought of someone she trusted, a kind of spiritual guide or mentor she referred to as Pooh. He was known for helping people with these kinds of issues, apparently without ever asking for money, like a genuine spiritual advisor.
Okay, so she went to see Pooh.
Yes. And what happened when she got there is pretty remarkable.
How so?
Apparently, Pooh was already waiting for her, almost like he knew she was coming. Before she even explained everything, he looked at her and said something like, "You finally got out, didn't you?"
Whoa, he knew.
Instantly. He didn't need details. He just urged her very strongly to move out of that condo immediately. He told her flat out, "This is not your place."
Did he say why? Did he know what was happening?
He did. He gave her the explanation for everything she'd been experiencing. It was chilling.
Okay, what did he say?
Pooh told her that Unit 733 had a tragic history. It was previously occupied by a woman, a sex worker, who had taken her own life. Died by suicide. On that very bed.
On the bed, where Kumpim had been sleeping.
Exactly. Due to heartbreak, apparently. Pooh explained that the woman's spirit was still there, trapped in the room, and Kumpim had unknowingly been sleeping right on her resting place, the place she died.
That's horrifying. The smell, the coldness, the figure, it all starts to make a terrible kind of sense.
It does. But then Pooh revealed something even more specific, and maybe even more unsettling.
What was that?
He told Kumpim that her birth date and month were the same as the woman who had died in the room.
The same birthday?
The same date and month, yes. According to Pooh, in certain spiritual beliefs, this alignment created a kind of connection, almost like a spiritual resonance. It essentially marked Kumpim as a sort of substitute or replacement for the spirit. That's why she was drawn to that specific room, and why the spirit was interacting with her so intensely.
Like she was targeted because of her birthday. That's a cow.
It's a heady concept. And Pooh finished with a very stark warning. He told her if she needed to go back to get her things, she absolutely had to do it and be out of there before 6 p.m. that day. If she stayed later, he implied she wouldn't survive it.
Before 6 p.m. or she wouldn't survive. He actually said that.
That was the warning. Move out now, get your stuff before 6, or face severe consequences.
Okay. The urgency must have been immense. What did Kumpim and her boyfriend do?
Pooh's words hit hard. Kumpim's boyfriend, who apparently also knew and respected Pooh, didn't doubt it for a second after hearing this. All the previous skepticism just vanished.
Right, especially after the footprints and everything.
Exactly. They knew they had to get out immediately. They decided to crash with a friend for a bit while they figured out the logistics of moving everything.
And the condo management, did they have issues getting out of the lease?
This is another interesting part. The boyfriend went back to the management office. He actually told them directly, "Look, we know someone died in this room. It's haunted. We need to break the lease and get our deposit back."
That took guts. How did management react?
Well, you'd expect them to deny everything and say, "Tough luck. You forfeit the deposit," right? Especially for breaking a lease early.
Yeah, usually they keep it all.
But apparently, after the manager made a phone call, probably to the condo owner, they agreed to return half of Kumpim's deposit.
Half. That's really unusual.
Highly unusual. It strongly suggests they knew about the room's history, even if they didn't admit it openly. Giving back any deposit money in that situation is rare. It feels like an acknowledgement.
A silent admission. So they got some money back.
Yeah.
Did they go back for their things before the 6 p.m. deadline?
Yes, they went back together, racing against that clock Pooh set, and the moment they opened the door to Unit 733,
What?
they were just hit by this wall of smell, that same foul, musty, rotting odor, but way stronger than before. Kumpim described it like like an old, filthy doormat that had been left wet and festering for months. It was overwhelming.
Just confirming everything Pooh said, everything she'd felt.
Absolutely. Any lingering doubt would have vanished right then. They grabbed their stuff as fast as they possibly could and got out of there well before 6 p.m.
And after they moved out, did things go back to normal for Kun Pim?
Thankfully, yes, completely. As soon as she was out of that condo, all the strange occurrences stopped. No more weird feelings, no more apparitions, no more terrifying nights.
That's huge relief.
It really is.
Ooh.
She focused on positive actions, performing Buddhist merits, which are acts believed to generate good karma and offer spiritual cleansing. She also used holy water that Pooh had given her. Gradually, her life started to feel normal again.
And her relationship with her boyfriend. That had gotten really bad in the condo.
That returned to normal too. The constant arguing stopped, and things went back to how they were before they ever set foot in Unit 733. It really seemed tied entirely to that specific place.
Amazing. Did she ever get any other confirmation about the death in the room besides from Pooh?
She did, actually. Sometime later, her curiosity got the better of her. She found an opportunity to talk to one of the building's cleaning ladies.
And asked her about the room.
Yeah. The cleaning lady was apparently hesitant at first, didn't really want to talk about it, but eventually she quietly confirmed it. Yes, a woman had died on the bed in Unit 733, just like Pooh said.
Wow, so multiple sources confirming this tragic history.
Exactly. It wasn't just Pooh's insight, it was known, at least by some staff.
And there was one more strange detail, wasn't there? Something about the room numbers.
Ah, yes. The original source material pointed this out. Kun Tim's first room, the hot one, was Unit 535, if you add those digits. 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5, 13.
Okay.
Her second room, the haunted one, was Unit 733. Add those up. 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus 13.
Both rooms add up to 13.
Both add up to 13. And as you know, in many cultures, and perhaps particularly in some Thai beliefs around ghosts and spirits, the number 13 is often considered unlucky, or even associated with the supernatural. Just another little eerie thread in this whole story.
That's quite the coincidence, if it is one. It really makes Kun Pim's whole ordeal feel almost fated, in a dark way. Her account really pushes you to think, doesn't it? That maybe some places aren't just bricks and mortar, maybe they hold on to things.
Yeah, active imprints of the past, capable of impacting people now. Her escape really underscores how important it might be to be aware of, or at least respect, the history of the places we inhabit. It's not just where you live, but maybe what lived or died there before.
So we've followed Kun Pim from just trying to find a convenient apartment near work, through this absolutely terrifying spiral of events, to her eventual escape and finding peace again. It's quite a journey, and unpacking it really does give you a unique, if unsettling, perspective.
It absolutely does. It leaves you wondering about that connection between place and person, doesn't it? Are some experiences, maybe even some destinies, tied to specific locations? How much can a past we don't even know about influence our present? It makes you think. What hidden stories might be held within the walls of your own home?
A truly provocative thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Kun Pim's chilling experience. We hope it gave you something to think about. We'll catch you on the next one.